former alter ego. Kind of, you could say she's giving us the best of both worlds with her younger self singing a
Sure. Thank you.
Good morning, Mastermind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Success Mentorship class number 422. Wow. That's amazing, isn't it? Yep. Well, 422, and our topic for today is superhero confidence. We have a treat because we have an incredible speaker, author, psychologist, and just all around great person, Dr. Monica Hinton, and you'll be hearing from her in a little while. But I want to, of course, officially welcome you to the Success Mentorship class. I'm Dr. Herbert Harris, and I always invite you to visit our website, herbertharris.com, and to really shoot out for one of our success consultations. This last week, we've had such a surge in consultations. People have been reaching out. Everybody who who reaches out for a consultation gets a free copy of the 12 Universal Laws of Success audiobook. It's over 6 hours of information. So those of you who are listening, if you need to change your life, if you need to know what's next, the next steps for you to take to change your life, to make it into exactly the way you want it to be, then go to our website, herbertharris.com, and schedule a consultation. Before we get going, let's do our meditation to get us centered in the here, in the now, and in the moment. So let us sit straight up in our seats, close our outer eyes, open our inner eyes. Take a deep breath and hold it. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. And in this space of peace and relaxation, I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that together. I am at peace with myself. So let that peace sink in. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And in this space of peace and relaxation, my mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us affirm that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Just let that sink in. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And so it is. All right. Wow. Well, today's message, superhero confidence, is being really shared by Dr. Monica Hinton. And she is a unique person, a graduate of the California School of Professional Psychology and at Alliant International University. She's had over 30 years experience in mental health and substance abuse. She works in many areas from anger management, mood regulation, self-awareness, self-confidence, and she's previously been director of the Alpine Special Treatment Center, a 24-hour facility providing rehabilitative and supportive services. We know Dr. Hinton, though, from the point of view of a great writer, and from her, I'll call it a fixation on the Marvel characters, the superhero characters. And she has really brought that into, I guess, a special focus in using superhero characters, people with special powers, and really showing how these powers can be translated into ourselves. And so, Dr. Hinton, you have just, I put away comic books as a child, but you reintroduced me to comic books. And not only comic books, when I was a kid, it was Donald Duck and Minnie Mouse and Daffy Duck. But you've introduced me to a new really level of comic books where they are instructive, where kids can learn from them, and where there's not just for kids, adults can use them. And in this world of, you might say, visual learning, everything now is like you see it. Reading it's not a lost art, but it's not at the forefront of many of the young people's minds. And so this visual approach where you can interact with vision and information has been powerful. So when I heard your topic, superhero confidence, I'm like, I got to get that. So take it away, Dr. Monica Hinton.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, Mastermind. It is an honor to be here and to present to everyone this morning. So I really appreciate your invitation, Dr. Harris, and I am excited to share this information with you. So this is from my up-and-coming book, and let me share my screen and we will get started. So yes, growing up, I read comic books, and I read comic books as a sense of survival. And as I got older, then I started realizing that these characters really were far, far deeper than how we perceive them. They all have some sort of emotional trauma. And then from studying psychology, I've started thinking, how can I use what I love, comic book characters, and what I love, psychology, and merge it together where it can not only be enjoyable for myself, but also helpful to people that I work with. So from that, I have come up with superhero confidence. So I'm going to share my presentation. So Dr. Harris, please let me know when you can see it.
I can see it.
You can see it?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so let's put it in presentation mode. Okay, so superhero confidence. Yay! So this is Cynthia, and she is my character that's going to teach everyone about superhero confidence. So just a quick notice that this is my proprietary information. Please, please, I'm asking you to honor it and do not make copies and share it or reproduce it in any way beyond what you are seeing today. All right, so Ascendia. So Ascendia, her name is Ascendia. It's not just her journey. It's not just my reason for this journey. Ascendia means rise higher, grow stronger, and push beyond your limits. It is the act of elevating above wounds, doubts, and old narratives, igniting inner power and evolving into your highest self. So, Ascendia is here to guide you to your superpowers, explore your own story, and figure out your own origins and your own origin story, because all superheroes have an origin story. And then superheroes also inspire us because they are courageous, they're resilient, and they are called to something greater despite their challenges and personal fears. And if everyone is here this morning and taking out this time to be here, whether you're doing it for yourself or your community, you are definitely a superhero in the making. So I'm going to share certain parts of my book. So I'm not going to share you the whole book, but certain pieces for you to get a good understanding. So first of all, self-confidence. It is the belief that you can handle situations based on your skills, experiences, and past successes. It's practical ability, focused, strong when you feel prepared, but it can shake when you're faced with something unfamiliar or intimidating. Then superhero confidence is far deeper. It's rooted in not just what you can do, but who you are, your identity, your purpose, your resilience, your inner power. It remains steady even when you have new challenges or situations because it draws from your values, your calling, your strength in God or the higher power or whatever's greater than you. And it's confidence that activates when you feel unsure. So, core of our beginnings. So this is an explanation as to where we even come from, how we are a person that has been formulated, and we're going to explore that. So my book is broken down into modules. So this module is a call to awareness that growth and healing and transformation begins when we start understanding what's shaping us, things we see and what we can't see. So our thoughts, behaviors, beliefs, way we understand things consciously really is developed not just when we're born, it comes out of the environments, the relationships, and the culture in which we are living in. So what we're going to explore is not about blame, it's about illumination. So when we recognize the forces and things that influence us, we gain more freedom. We're able to grow, we're able to heal, and live more intentionally. When we awaken, light follows. And with that light comes clarity, purpose, and the opportunity for transformation. So we're going to use two models as we explore this. The first one is the ecological systems model, and we'll explore how all of these pieces in our lives influence us. And then we're going to talk about intersectionality, and there we're going to explore our multiple identities, because you know all superheroes have more than one identity. Ecological model and intersectionality. Okay, so Boffenbrenner is the way I like to say his name, but he developed the ecological systems theory. And so he's a well-known psychologist, and he used that he says that we are who we are really based on our environment in which we are born in, what we are exposed to, what we see around us. And our environments actually ripple out like throwing a stone into water. So let's use the example of Spider-Man. So Spider-Man isn't just Spider-Man because of his superpowers. He has a family, his school, and I'm using the Miles Morales Spider-Man. He's a high schooler. He lives in the city. He grew up in a diverse cultural environment. He goes to a parochial school, and so all of that put together is what has shaped him. So we're going to explore that not just for Miles, but also for you. So here's the systems theory. So the first one is let me move something here. Sorry about that. Okay, so the first is the microsystem. So that's your immediate circle. This is everything and everyone you interact with directly on an everyday basis that has the strongest impact on your confidence. So that's your family, your friends, your school, your work, your church, everything that you interact with day to day. Even if you live in an apartment around other people, even the people in your apartment complex. So the people that are around you all the time. Then there's the mesosystem, and that's the connection between how the different parts affect each other. So how your work impacts your school, how your school impacts church, how your family impacts your friends. So that's the mesosystem. So how they all impact each other. Then the exosystem is things that you may not directly interact with, but they still affect your life. So, in looking at from a child's perspective, your parents' job or your local government, the news, your neighborhood, whether it's safe or not safe. If you're employed, you don't interact with your CEO, but your choices of your CEO has an impact on you. And then your macro system is more of the bigger picture. So that those are the fact that you may have your certain religion, you if you experience racism, your gender roles, your cultural expectations. Because despite what we believe and think and say, because we are American, there are cultural expectations, believe it or not. And then of course there's the chrono system, and that's changes over time. So that deals with what era in which you were born. I know on YouTube there's a lot of discussion about Gen X and Gen this and Gen that and Gen the other, but that does have an impact on who you are and the things that occur in your lifespan, in your generation. These things that happen over time also affect who you are. So, Dr. Bronfenbrenner breaks it down like this. So he has you in the center. And then as you see, you go around, there's the microsystem, and there's how it breaks down visually with the friends and family and work and school. And then with the mesosystem, how it's the interaction amongst everything. Then the exosystem, and that's, I put example, the school board, local government, family income, extended family. And then your macro system is the social norms, your federal government, the media, your culture, and then the chrono system, like I mentioned, your generation, time, environmental changes, historical events. So if you think when we experienced COVID, that affected us. If you were alive during 9/11, that affected you. So all of those things. So then this is the part where it's a worksheet. So here's some questions that if you're listening and paying attention and you have some paper in front of you, ask these questions of yourself. So think about your system and think of it as comic book panels. All right. So in the spaces below, so if you had the book, then you would either draw or write it out. So who's in your immediate circle? Who do you talk to every day? These are your closest allies and even sometimes your villains. So list those people in your life. If you were Batman, believe it or not, Joker has influenced him because that is his closest villain. So whoever is in your immediate circle. So even those people that challenge you, that's who those people are. Then your mesosystem is the world of the connections. So how your family or your coworkers or your church all interact. Maybe you and your whole family go to church together, and that is an interaction. Maybe you've had a party where you've had coworkers and your personal friends over all at the same time. That's an interaction. So think about how your immediate system, your microsystem has interacted. Then your mesosystem. So identify those things that are currently happening or in your neighborhood. So this is your close town, your neighborhood, things that are happening right now for you would be listed here. And then your macro system, and of course, that's the bigger laws, your religion, your gender, identify those. And then there's the chrono system. And so I've listed some examples. So moving, loss or death, a divorce, graduating, COVID-19, civil rights movement, anything that may have affected your life in your lifetime, or maybe even happened before your lifetime that's currently affecting you. So just take a little time and jot those things down. So in the book, you would then fill this in. So if you had the book, you would fill in the things that you wrote down. All right, so now we're going to talk about Kimberly Crenshaw's intersectionality. And so this is a way of understanding that you're really more of a puzzle. You're not just this one entity. There are different various pieces of you. So you're not just your race or just your gender or just your age. You're a combination of all these different parts. So, and you fit them together to create who you are. So let's look again at Miles Morales. He's not just Superman. He's also mixed race. He's Black and Latinx. He is a teenager. He's a student. He's middle class. These identities shape how he is. His father is a police officer, and I think his mother's a teacher. And so all of that put together is going to influence him and help him form these different identities that he is. So pay attention to all the different parts that are you. So intersectionality reminds us that no one is just one label. So here are the parts of intersectionality. So you want to think about your race, your gender, your sexual orientation, your socioeconomic class, your religion or spirituality, your age, your ability or disability, your nationality and or immigration status, your body image and appearance, your education, and other cultural personal factors. So like your language, your geography, your family roles, because all of us are different roles in our family. My family alone, I'm a sister, I'm a cousin, I am a daughter, I'm an aunt. I'm not a mother, unfortunately, but I have different roles. So all of these are part of who I am. And I'm a superhero, by the way. All right, so this is what it would look like mapped out. So for me, Ascendia's map, I am Christian, I am Black African American, I have a PhD in psychology. I am a blurred, which means Black nerd. I am middle class, cisgender, female. I'm older than 50, and I am a Texan, by the way. So, being a Texan definitely has formulated who I am. So think about what that map would look like for you. Okay, so now it's time to explore how these things shaped you. So here are some of your questions. So what kind of messages did you hear as a child about your worth and abilities and the kind of person you were expected to be? What conflicts or connections between environments have shaped how you see yourself? Do you ever shrink parts of your being just to fit in or to feel safe? What strengths come from your cultural background that you can embrace more fully? What strengths do you often overlook? And what key parts of your identity or gender, class, or religion that shaped yourself and helped you achieve? So is there any part of you that it stands out? So when do you feel most confident and why? What part of your identity do you celebrate more boldly? What role does social media play in your life and how do you use it? So those are just some questions. All right, so this is module 3. Sometimes it gets heavy. So let me tell you, superheroes, they have a hard time. They wonder if they're superhero enough. They wonder how am they going to defeat this villain. So they have a harder time than we think. So the struggle is real, and all superheroes has some sort of inner struggle spot. That's another module for another day. Okay, so we're going to go over some of our superheroes. So first of all, we have T'Challa, Black Panther. Some of you may have seen the movie. He is the king of Wakanda. He has faced immense pressure and responsibility having to protect his people, leading to moments of self-doubt and anxiety. He is also challenged with grief over the loss of his father, and he seeks guidance from his ancestors. So instead of going to a therapist, he reaches out to his ancestors. Then we have Cyborg, otherwise known as Victor Stone. So he dealt with the trauma of losing much of his human body and after a catastrophic accident. His transformation in the cyborg has left him grappling with feelings of isolation, loss of humanity, and self-worth. And he did see a therapist. So when I first wrote this, I wrote this to encourage people to seek therapy as well. So if you know anything about this character, he was in a really, really bad accident, and his father, who is a robotic genius, created this body for his son, because he wanted to keep his son alive. And then after he, realized who and what he was, mostly robot, he had to deal with his own personal loss of self. All right, Luke Cage, otherwise known as Carl Lucas. So he dealt with trauma being wrongfully imprisoned. And then when he was in prison, he was experimented on, hence where he got his strength from. And so in the stories, he married Jessica Jones, and they started having emotional problems and family strain, and they actually went to therapy. These are things that are actually written in the comic books. That's why I know this. So they actually went to therapy to deal with some of his trauma as well as their relationship. All right, Monica Rambeau Spectrum. Now, she has identity disorders because in her lifetime, she has changed multiple names. She was the original Captain Marvel. Then other names she had was Photon, Pulsar, and then finally it landed on Spectrum. Now, of course, this came from the writers, but if this was an actual person, think about how her identity changed from time to time, which does happen to us from time to time. Our identity changes. We become something else. And so she had to deal with her own identity and self-worth. Then we have the Green Lantern. Now, for him, he's dealing with a lot of guilt. So with his power, he was trying to save a planet. The planet didn't survive. And so he lives with depression and guilt and self-doubt because he wasn't able to rescue and save the people on this planet. Then we have Misty Knight. She actually works with Luke Cage. And so she was a police officer. She lost her arm in police officer business, and so she got this golden arm that's a robotic arm, and and she lost her job with the police force. So for her, she's really relearning who she is and how to fight crime as a different kind of hero and in a different way. So then, of course, here we have Mr. Miles Morales again. And so his biggest challenge is trying to live up to Peter Parker, who is our original Spider-Man. And so that is his struggle. And he is challenged through that with loneliness, self-doubt, and anxiety. And then here's Storm Aurora Monroe. Now, to me, she is the queen of superheroes. And so Storm deals with claustrophobia. And this was an experience she had in childhood. A building had fallen on her. I can't remember why, but so she deals with that. And during the 80s, she actually was the leader of the X-Men. And so, of course, she struggled with some identity and pressures to be a good leader. So you see, all of our superhero characters deal with some sort of challenge. And so let's think about your challenges. So we're not going to go into those questions because I want us to explore our hero mindset. All right, and this would be module 5 in my book. So, the hero mindset. So, the mindset believes that you have powers to face things no matter what. We all have very unique powers and abilities, and so we're through this I'm going to have you explore what those are. So, I took the word superhero and made it into an acronym, and it stands for strength, uniqueness, perseverance, empowerment, resilience, hope, empathy, respect, and optimism. So the first one is uniqueness. So your superpower is, I think I have these out of order all of a sudden. I'm sorry. So actually, uniqueness is number 2, but we'll just go through them. How about that? Because, it'll be fun to mix it up. So your superpower is being you. So let's think about ways that you are unique, your unique gifts, and how your personality has affected your super story. Perseverance. So it's the ability to keep going no matter what. So what ways have you persevered? Think about times when you had to just continue to move forward no matter what was going on. So you want to jot that down and think about that because that'll help you understand your own personal strength. All right, empowerment. So this means believing that your voice, actions, and presence matter. So heroes claim their power and empower others too. So how would you finish this statement? I am powerful because, and finish the sentence. All right, resilience. So that means bouncing back. So being able to deal with something, adapt, recover, and keep going. So being able to bounce back. So the question here is, what is one thing that was challenging for you, but you kept going? And what did you learn from it? Because that's the big thing about resilience. It's not just about bouncing back, it's learning something. So you maybe learn something about the world, or learn something about business, or learn something about yourself. So it's not just about being able to bounce back, but you bounce back and you learn something. Okay, so then hope, believing in a better tomorrow. So believing that things are going to get better, that everything is wonderful no matter what. Because sometimes we have to maintain in a place of hope, even when things seem chaotic. So what is one thing you are hopeful for, and what small step can you take towards your own personal hope? And what small step can you take towards your own personal goal? So just think about that and write it down. And then empathy. So this is being able to understand and feel for others. So it's understanding how others are feeling and sharing in those feelings. So it's not just about feeling sorry for them or feeling sad for them. It's the thought of, if I was in their position, how would I respond? Or if I was in their position, I would probably respond the same way. So think of someone going through a hard time. What kind thing can you do for them? So superheroes are empathetic. They are very helpful. So and empathy is important because sometimes that takes us out of our own chaos. So if we take the time to help other people, it actually uplifts us. So practice empathy. Okay, respect. So this is respect for others, as well as yourself, and treating people with dignity. So the question for this journal page is, how can you show more respect to yourself this week? Because sometimes heroes, I know this because I'm a hero. We have a tendency to want to do and do and do and do for other people and respect other people, but we miss out respecting ourselves. So, what can you do to respect yourself this week? Okay, and then optimism. So being positive. So optimism, so we had hope, but hope is thinking about the future. Optimism is more thinking about right now. How can I stay positive no matter what? So, what's one positive thing that you can hold on today, no matter what? No matter what happens, what's one positive thing you can hold on today? I know one thing for me, do live in an apartment and I have fabulous apartment managers that will do anything for me. And so that is one thing I know, that's one positivity thing that I can hold on to. So even if sometimes I live here and I'm like, oh, I hate living in an apartment, I think about the fact that I have these people here that no matter what, they have my back. So definitely maintaining optimism. And so it was the S that we missed. So strength. So here's your superhero check-in checklist. And strength was one that we missed, but think about what keeps you strong and what in your life helps you be strong. And again, in another chapter, we explore the strengths and how to build up your strength. All right, so this is your checklist. So every day, think superhero. So every day, what strength did I use and how did it help me? Unique. How did I express what makes me unique today? Perseverance. What challenge did I push through today and keep going today? Sometimes it's just driving in traffic. I'm here to be honest. Empowerment. What made me feel powerful or confident and or in control today? R, resilience. How did I bounce back from something difficult today? Hope. What gave me hope today? Even just a little bit of hope. Empathy. How did I show compassion or understanding towards someone else or myself? Respect. How did I show respect to myself, someone else, or the world? And optimism. What's one thing I'm hopeful or expected about moving forward? All right, so this is a nice little checklist that you could do every day, and it'll help push you forward with your superhero confidence. And that is the end of my presentation. So, wow, superb, amazing, you're awesome. Yay, you're great. So, everything's super. So just to close, so I'm part of Exceptionally You Academy. If you look at the QR code, it'll take you to our website. And my partner, Elizabeth, she has her program, Have You Met You, FQ3C. And if you are interested, like I said, just look at the QR code and then reach out to us if you like coaching or more information about superhero confidence. And that is the end of my presentation.
Okay. Dr. Hinton, thank you. You can stop sharing now. Good.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do.
Wow, that was the most you
There you
took
go.
you took the superhero level to I'm just speechless because the way you put it, You humanized it. You got us tied in with it. Most of us are familiar with the superheroes, but not so much from a personality point of view, not so much from and it's not just a personality external, but it's like each of us has some superhero characteristics.
Yes.
And what you and what your book is doing is helping people focus on those superhero characteristics and ask the question, as an attorney, you never ask a question that you don't know the answer to. And you paint your picture of your client's innocence or guilt or liability through asking questions. And so
Mm-hmm.
this book is going to be amazing. This process, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's like we said it was a comic book, but this was a lecture in psychology that we didn't. You brought out things that we didn't even know we knew. So, well, Doc, let me close out our live portion. So, because we got hands up. I mean, you
Yeah,
were
I have
stimulating.
questions. Yeah.
Okay, let me just what I like to do before we get into our question period, let me close out those on YouTube and say thank you so much for being with us today. I know that Dr. Hinton has taken you to school, and so you be on the lookout. Her new book is going to be a rocker that's going to just change a lot of people's perspectives, not only about themselves, but about the world and how they interact. So be sure to visit our website, www.herbertharris.com, schedule a success consultation, and check out some of the many other goodies there. Check out our Instagram page and be sure to visit our profile there because we have all kinds of courses and things that can help you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is. All right. Mhm. Now, wow, wow, wow. Dana,
Sorry, I
you
went
had
a little bit long. I started feeling, am I over 30 minutes now?
a wee bit, yeah. But it was captivating. It was captivating. When you're doing something good, you don't worry about the time. Dana, go right ahead.
Good morning, Dr. Harris and Mastermind. Dr. Harris, as you know, I am on my way to work. Dr. Monica, I am so grateful that I gleaned the jewels you were dropping, touching on Luke Cage. That was like, your book is awesome. I cannot
Thank
wait
you.
to, yes, I cannot wait to purchase it. I would love your information to reach out to you as well. I remember you sharing some of your superhero confidence with us in responding to one of the other talks that we're having. This is so juicy, so good. I cannot wait for the replay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Dana, thank you. You just gave me a new vocabulary to describe information. Juicy.
Juicy.
Thank you, Dana. And Dr. Hinton, well, I'm sure she has her contact information in the chat.
I'm putting it in the chat.
Okay. Hey, Katie. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Dr. Monica, wow. Really blown away. I just never really took superheroes to that level. I mean, probably most of us haven't taken it to the level you have, but it was so powerful to think of it that way. And I did have two questions for you. First of all, you mentioned one of the superheroes toward the end of who was trying to save a planet and failed, and how he dealt with his own kind of guilt of that. I mean, I don't know if that's your own material that you can't.
No, that's Green Lantern. So it's not my story. He's a
Okay.
DC character. And
Uh,
so Green Lantern.
Oh, I didn't know that was his story. I mean, I know Green Lantern. I didn't just realize that was his story. So that's
Oh, yeah. So Green Lantern, actually there is a thing called the Lantern Corps. So it's not just him. It's like so the first, and I can't remember the people's real, their names, but there was one Green Lantern, and then he died, and then the because the power comes from this ring, and the ring was then bequeathed to this other Green Lantern, and he's the one that was trying to save the planet. But there's the thing called the Lantern Corps, and so it's a whole group of Green Lanterns. It's not just the one. And so he was on this mission out in space, he and the Corps were trying to save this planet, and they were unsuccessful. And so he was, very guilt-ridden and depressed and sad, and it's just really a good reflection of how sometimes we can suffer major losses and really struggle with that emotion.
Yeah. It's very, I save stray kitties, but sometimes it doesn't go as well, so it's just kind of, I feel some of that pain sometimes. And so thank you for that. And also I'm eco baby, and we're moving into Earth Day next month. So thank you for bringing that up. The other question I had, if it's okay to ask questions here too, is you mentioned the neighborhood a couple times, and it was in maybe like a little bit of the outer circle, but I was going to ask you if some of those can morph. So for instance, I walk my neighborhood every day. So I almost feel like my neighborhood is one of my more immediate circles. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's
your microsystem.
My microsystem. Yeah. And I don't know, I didn't know if that was, some of those things could be in different places depending on your interaction with them.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So my microsystem of my environmental microsystem definitely would be, for me, my apartment complex in the street in which I live on. Right. But the macro system of that would be that I live in the town of El Cajon. And then if I broadened it out even bigger, I live in San Diego County. So things that then affect San Diego County can affect El Cajon, then also affects me. So even things like safety. So the city of El Cajon put up a stop sign right at the corner, and I'm so happy. There were so many accidents. So just that one action that the city has done has relieved some anxiety and fear from me, because when you hit that corner, and I know, and they put up a stop sign about a month ago, and man, it's made a huge difference. So so your immediate surroundings is definitely part of your microsystem. Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. Yeah, this was really cool to think about it in these different ways, and I can't wait for your book to come out. I was like, wow, a lot of my friends, I feel like, would really appreciate this, just to get to understand more of, who, like, how we were created and who we became based on all these different factors. So thank you so much, Dr. Hinton. I mean, there's just so much to it. I could speak a lot longer, but I'm going to let others speak. But thank you again. So good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. One thing that you've done today, Dr. Hinton, is you've made me, I've always understood the power of psychology, but as you were sharing it today, this is really a science. When you put it in the construct you did, the different levels, it's just as like say, as definite as the laws of gravity. Just that they're the variations, the mental variations, but the way you put it together, wow. I mean, a whole nother level of understanding about psychology and its power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Sheila.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. But I have to admit, Dr. Monica, I don't like comic books. I have never read comic books. I started reading books and encyclopedias and newspapers at 3. I never got into comic books. What I find interesting now as an adult, as a psychotherapist, I see the power of it. I see the power that they contain, and that's a tool that I can put to use in my work. But I still don't like comic books. books. I'm too grounded in reality. I'm like Capricorn from 6 planets. I'm too grounded. It's like it's too fat woo-woo a bit for me. But I see the power and I like what it can do for people. And I thank you for reminding me of that. It's a valuable tool, and one that shouldn't be dismissed. I mean, I'm working with clients, you're often going to run into things that don't resonate with you particularly as a person. And you have to, park that and deal with your with who is in front of you. So it's like, okay, put the my idioms, my isms about comic books aside and see it for the value it has. So thank you for that. But I still don't like comic books.
Well, thank you so much, Sheila. Yeah. Yeah, you've taken us to school on comic books. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Ifataya. Let's see, let me pull that up. Yes.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Oh, wow. This was so much. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm just coming from work and I just got on a little late. But when I heard, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't have a pen. I have nothing going on right now. So sometimes I believe that you feel like people don't go through the people. I just talked about superheroes. And I could identify with one of the superheroes that you talked about when she's one of claustrophobic. And it made me see, wow, I'm not alone. And I want to thank you for bringing that out to me. I mean, because it really brought deliverance to me. And I would love your information. I know you said you didn't write the book yet, right? Are you starting to write the book?
No,
That's
it's
written.
written. It's just I'm going through some editing because even as I was doing the presentation, I was noticing the little things here and there. So I'm going through editing, and then in the next couple of months it'll be out.
Okay, and then you put your QR code in the chat.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
I'll do that.
I'm gonna ask Chaplain Addie to get that information because I am driving. But thank you so much.
Thank you so
Okay.
much,
And I
Ifataya.
put my email and number in the chat in case.
Okay.
'Cause I'm gonna try and put the QR code. I'm not quite sure if I can do that, but
Okay.
at least my email and phone number are in
Okay.
the chat, so you can reach out to me that way too.
Thank you. I'm gonna ask. I'm sorry, Chaplain Addie. Can you get that information for me so I can get it because I'm driving? Thank you. Bye.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Ifataya.
Thank you.
Dawn.
Good morning, Dr. Harris. Good morning, Mastermind Group. I kind of wanted to jump in here. I usually stay back and let everybody speak, but I want to say congratulations to superhero Dr. Monica
Thank you.
because,
Thank you.
you know, this was so exciting and it was so different. And I just wanted to encourage everyone the diversity and the superheroes that are in this group. Like, I'm sure, like, I didn't know that Dr. Monica was a superhero enthusiast. I did not know that. But now that I've seen what she has done and she's put together these awesome frameworks. And what I love about it as well is that you can take this and you can use it in classes, you can use it in courses, she can use it for younger people, older people. It doesn't matter because I saw the superheroes and I was like, wow, all of those superheroes had a story, as she said, and each of us has a story. And we're all superheroes. We just have not found a way to tie the two together to recognize that all superheroes, they go through hard things.
Yes, they do.
Oh, Dr. Monica, I just wanted to say, I wanted to jump in here and say thank you so much for saying yes. And I want to encourage the entire group. When you bring your diversity, when you bring that uniqueness to this group, then look what happens. Dr. Monica, make sure all of your contact information is in there. Those of you that are on this call, grab that information, share, save the chat if you have to, reach out to her. Let's make this a community where we can grow, we can thrive, but where we can reach other parts of our communities because I may speak or I may do something, and it may only be able to touch one segment or a different segment of people. But when we come together, we're such a diverse group that we can touch millions. And that's what Dr. Harris's legacy is about. So, thank you, Dr. Monica. I really appreciate your presentation. It was amazing, Dr.
Thank you.
Superhero. And I'm going to turn over and let others share. I also want us to be mindful in our sharing as we go on. I know many of us, we want to share, but if we can keep it concise, because we want to be respectful of everybody's time as well. So if we can do that, but of course, give Dr. Monica her accolades while she's here. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. I like the new hairstyle, Dawn.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for putting this together. You know, Dawn, without you, this would not happen. And so thank you. Thank you. You reach
Yes,
out and
Don.
coordinate. And everybody needs a team. You can't operate by yourself. That's, I think, one of the life lessons that I've had to learn. I still am an only child. I didn't get any my brothers and sisters at this point, you know. And as an only child, though, you sort of get so self-contained that you may not even appreciate the value of other people. But I tell you, in this business, in this time, and working with great people like you all, I see the synergy, the value of other people, and how much smarter we are as a group than we are individually. And so, thank you, Don, for making it happen. Ray.
Brother Harris, how are you?
I am great, my friend. How are you today?
Great, great. I just wanted to chime in with everybody and give Dr. Monica her props because that was a great presentation. I really enjoyed it. Very educational. Like Sheila, I was never much of a superhero person. I mean, it wasn't that I didn't like them, it just didn't gather my interest. But you gathered my interest today. And I really loved the way that you showed their vulnerabilities because we all have vulnerabilities. And I like that you illustrated that as well as their strengths. And our uniqueness is our strength. So we are all superheroes. So thank you so much for it and best of luck. And I know you're going to do well with your book. Right.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks so much, Ray. Wow. Let's see. Ray, we had one other. Okay, Ife, you didn't put your hand down. Okay, let me make sure I've gotten everybody. Let's see, Ife, okay, everybody, yeah. I'm just blown away. I have a whole new respect for comic books, the power of psychology, and just thank you. And you know, we have a lot of psychologists on here. I think we attract people who are involved in changing people's lives. I see Herman up there. Herman, you want to add something, man? I've been reading your comments. You've been laying it in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you, Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris is always a pleasure. And I just want to add that the mastermind class is part of my meso population in my life. Like, you know, I got the micro is one, but the mastermind class is definitely listed as my meso population and helping me be and do and have what I need to have. Dr. Monica, that presentation was fantabulous. You definitely gave us some information on systems theory with, I can't pronounce his name, but I wrote a paper on Dr. Braun Howell. But
Grafenbrunner.
that guy.
Him.
But Kim Crenshaw. That's my girl. Critical race theory, interraciality, intersectionality. It just shows us how our lives overlap. And that, man, I use her stuff when I'm doing presentation because people are extremely excited when they see the intersectionality of how many not lives, but yeah, how many lives they interact, like being black, being a woman, or being a man, or being a Christian, or being an athlete. And it just like it brings the commonalities into play of how people could interrelate with each other. So Kim Crenshaw is my girl. I love. Yeah. I was gonna use her theory, But then I was gonna have to be too radical when I was writing my capstone. I was gonna be too radical. So I said, I don't want to be as radical. I don't want to be that radical yet. But thank you. Thank Dr. Monica. And I just want to say, like, I'm a therapist, right? And I like to counsel men. I like me and men, we could chop it up. We could really we could really talk about what the issues are. We could and we could go deep. We could say, we got to get rid of some of that behavior that kept us stuck. So let's look at it. But I didn't want to do kids. I was like, I have to do children. I'm like, what am I gonna do with children? I had a kid on my couch, right? I said, they got ADHD, they hyper, they don't have good impulse control. They just do what they want to do. And I was like, you gotta stop. I said, stop doing that. You gotta sit still. This kid just looked at me and said, I said, what am I supposed to do with that? So I came up with, it is so effective to get kids to talk by taking the focus off of them and letting them create something. And so I created the stigma slayer. I said, I'm the stigma slayer. And what I do,
I saw that. I love that.
My superpower is seeing people behind their behavior and seeing what struggles that they may have. And my superpower is being non-judgmental, right? So they get into it. They come up with characters with their superpowers, who's an ally, who's not, and you start to see some family dynamics to see what's happening. So that tool is amazing, right? Yep. That tool is amazing. And I just want to say this was a great session. Thanks for sharing your book with us. Thanks for sharing your ideas with us. Thanks for sharing another method and another style of communication. And all of us identify, right? Like Batman was my guy, man. Batman and Robin. I grew up with Batman and Robin. Those was my, the Marvel stuff. I can't get my Batman and Robin. Same I end every session that I do by telling my clients, same bad time,
same bad
channel. And I just started, right? I said, all right, I'm gonna see you next week. Same bad time. It's all right, T. Same bad channel, right? Connection. So I just want to say that was amazing, and I'm gonna shut my big mouth. And you've been blessed with a talent to learn how to take your passion and develop it into a vehicle that can help people and touch people and help people change their lives. And that is a skill and a talent that God gave you. So you keep healing.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Batman was definitely traumatized, without a doubt. I mean, you coming home from the movie with your parents, walking down the street, and a robber comes along and kills both your parents.
That's trouble. You better believe it.
Think about that trauma. Dr. Harris, you're muted.
Knowing the story behind the characters now gives me a whole nother dimension. I saw that, but when you look at it from a psychologist's point of view, you see your parents get killed right in front of you. That's got to make an imprint.
Yes.
Yes. Beyond impression, an imprint. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Herman and Doc. Wow. Captain Addie has her hand up. Doc.
Good morning, Dr. Harris and Mastermind Group. Dr. Monica, I am truly blessed that I was able to hear this presentation from you. It brought more clarity of what I was experiencing, not knowing the why. Because I know some of these heroes, but not a lot of them, especially with the women. But I can identify with the different personalities. As growing up and experiencing so much trauma, I was diagnosed with schizophrenic, and so I had that claim I had different personalities. I thank God I have been delivered from that. I am one person now. To God be the glory. but I just this opened up so much and brought my awareness even higher and heightening my awareness now. Thank you.
Woo.
Thank you
Wow.
for sharing.
Thank you, Chaplain Addie. I see Dr. Bray is on the line today. Dr. Ruby Bray. Okay. Other thoughts and comments? Well, then again, all right. Okay, here we go. Well, I'll tell you, Dr. Monica, you have opened the door for me. I thank you so much because taken, you've given me a framework. And you know, when the book is out there, this book is going to help a lot of people. We got a lot of writers here. Dr. Cheryl Hankins. Yes, Cheryl.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you all?
Good
Fabulous.
morning.
So
Yes.
wonderful. Oh my goodness. This was just awesome. Awesome. I mean, I grew up like so many others. I grew up with the superheroes. And you know, my thing is now like, what's my superpower? Mathematics is my superpower. We can all answer that same question because God has given all of us an ability. And we're to use that ability to bless and strengthen and encourage others. And that's what we're doing right here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes,
So,
Wow.
yes.
presentation. This has just been wonderful. I have enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Dr. Harris.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Hankins. We appreciate you and look forward to your book coming out too.
Absolutely.
On
Absolutely.
the way.
Teach some people about some finances,
That's
finance
it.
101.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you for your presence and your comments.
Yes, everyone have a blessed weekend.
You too now.
You too.
Mhm.
All right. Any other comments before we wrap up? Wow. I see we have a lot of I mean, we have more psychologists. I see Dr. Jana Spalding is on. Dr. J.
Can you hear me, Mastermind?
Yes, yes.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Dr.
Good
Harris.
morning.
Good morning, Dr. Hinton. Dr. Hinton, let me tell you, you have opened up something. I like the characters. I never really understood why I like them, but their creators are genius because they take a part of a person and amplify it so that all of us can see how to relate to them and how they relate to parts of us. And it
Mm-hmm.
occurred to me that these characters, well, they remind me of some of the Greek mythology. We have
Mm-hmm.
all these so called gods, demigods, all of this pantheon, and they were all little pieces of human personality magnified. You know, um, it is so encouraging to know that even people with superpowers have challenges because that means, simplistically, but still, I mean, if Spider Man can have challenges, then I'm not necessarily weak because I have a challenge, right?
No.
Um, uh,
Yeah.
it's such a rich field. And I now have new superheroes I didn't know about. Thank you for introducing me to Ascendia. I like her. I think I'm going to adopt some of her superpowers. And I just thank you for sharing all this wealth and richness with us.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Jana. We have
Thank you.
Katie.
Thank you.
I see Stuart Brown. Stuart is a part of our mastermind family. Stuart, it's good to see you today. I hope you're feeling better and send up healing and power prayers to you, brother.
Amen on that. And and thank you for letting me come back in. I'll be quick here. I just wanted to mention, because of what Dr. Jana just said, that Dr. Monica, thank you for inspiring me. I went to look up Green Lantern, and there's a book out called Green Lantern and the Philosophy And of course it's mentioning Plato, Aristotle. And so Dr. Jane, you're like right on track with the Greek mythology. And I know, Dr. Monica, you probably knew that. I just wasn't aware of that. So yeah, so thank you so much. I just wanted to share that little piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you so much, Katie. All right. Let's see. I think everybody has had a chance to speak. I was looking forward to hearing from Dr. Bray. I saw, let's see, I see some of our other people on here. Dr. Bray, Greg, Joe Day, Kareem, the great actor, philosopher. Welcome, Kareem. Kareem Amadou, thank you for being with us today.
Oh, God bless you.
Thanks for your feedback, my brother. All right, folks. Any other thoughts or comments? All right, then we can wrap up. Joe, did you have a thought? I saw you blinking there for a minute.
Yeah, Dr. Harris, good morning. How are you? Good morning, Mastermind Group.
Yes.
How's everyone doing?
Man, we're
Doctor,
better than ever. Better than ever.
you gave us me a newfound love for superheroes. Like I grew up watching them, but when you went in depth with the Green Lantern, I'm like, I gotta go back and watch these movies again. I knew about Superman and Batman, but you made me have a newfound love to really understand on a deeper level what it is with these superheroes and what they represent. So I thank you for that. I appreciate it, and continue blessing all that you're touching in life.
Thank you. Thank you so
Joe.
much.
Thank you. Well, folks, unless there are any other feedback or comments.
Dr. Harris?
Yes, Chaplain.
I just wanted to say one of the superheroes that got me through was Wonder Woman. That really boosted up me as a young child and a young, teenager and stuff. That really encouraged me through the trauma and helped me to see that I can be empowered and I have a power.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Chaplain.
So
Wow.
Dr. Harris,
Yes.
can I just tell my quick little story? So
go ahead.
I
as a
when
matter
I
of fact,
was
go
little,
right ahead and your wrap up. Any
okay,
final
so
comments too?
when I was little, I read much like oh my gosh, who said they read encyclopedias and everything. I had all of that. So I read it all. There was nothing I didn't read. I read it all. But when I was with my grandmother, I happened to we would go to the grocery store, and I think my very first comic book actually was Superman, because I saw a picture book, because she would always tell me go pick a book. And so in my brain it was a picture book, and then I realized, oh, this is a little more than that. So then I found Wonder Woman. So everything was Wonder Woman for a long time. But I lived in a neighborhood where unfortunately we were the only Black family in the neighborhood. So you can kind of imagine in the 70s some of the things we experienced. So, and I'm not even going to go into all that. But at this point, my brother started liking comic books, and he was with a friend, and he came back and gave me the X-Men. And the X-Men had this Black woman, and she was a superhero. That was all I needed. And so from that point on, I was religiously with the X-Men. And I particularly liked the X-Men because they were mutants, and mutants are different than some of the other superheroes because they get their powers from a device, or something happened to them and they became a hero. Or with mutants, they're born that way. And they dealt with a lot of discrimination being a mutant. And so coming from where I was living in my microsystem, there was a lot of racism towards us and discrimination. And so we were able to really connect with those characters in X-Men because they were from all over the world and they learned to get along. And so for me, that comic book really had inspired my desire to just know people of other ethnicities, other races, other parts of the world, and just really open myself up to having an understanding of people in general and how different people from different walks of life can have a positive effect on you. And but then Storm was my girl because she's black and she can control the weather and all of that. So so I'm saying all of that is to say that that was my um macro system that really influenced me and influenced who I am and influenced my psychology. And so it's important for us to really explore these things about ourselves so that when we do certain things, we know while we're doing these things. We know understand our own behaviors and actions, and because you can look in your past and your environment and go, oh, okay, that's why I'm reacting to that situation because of whatever. So and so I just wanted to add that. And yes, many of our comic characters really got their roots from philosophy as well as the mythology of not only Greek but also the Norse mythology. And comic book writers now, the more modern ones, especially Black comic book writers, they're actually exploring some of the myths and gods and goddesses that represent Africa, and so I've read some of those books too here lately. So I'm still a reader. It's just expanded to more outside of Marvel, so more writers and authors, and that's another whole hour discussion, and
Yes.
we don't have
Yeah.
time for that. But thank you
Wow.
so very much for giving me this opportunity to present my material and promote my book and talk about
Yes.
superheroes.
Well, folks, thank you so much, Dr. Monica. And I wanted to today, as you were talking, and I was looking at the many different levels of interaction, I call it levels of connectivity. That idea, walk a mile in my moccasins. They say, don't judge a man until you walk a mile in his moccasins, in his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see a person, physically, you often have no idea of the different intersections and the different worlds that they have grown up in. As you were talking about your experience in the 70s, it threw me back to my experience in the 50s, in the 40s as a little boy in 1949, going into the Woolworths and seeing the different water fountains, But you never know all those intersections, and it's those intersections that make us who we are. And so I think that one of the lessons I get from today is we must all be more patient to be able to see a person not from just what you see in front of them, but just to recognize that they are a combination of all these different experiences of which you may not even be aware. You may not even know anything about it.
Yeah.
But if you can at least give people that amount of respect, that I may not understand who you are and why you are the way you are, but let me at least respect your right to be that. And let me listen to learn from you. That as you were sharing today, you took superhero concepts and you put them into personality terms. So we could see ourselves in the superhero and we could see the superheroes in us. This was powerful. This is a whole nother level of dimensional thinking. I'll call it dimensional thinking, where you see beyond the physical being and understanding that physical being is the intersection of a whole lot of other things.
Yes.
And to be patient with the person until those things come out, because of, as you were talking about, so many of those things are like guarded, they're being hidden within. buried within.
Mm-hmm.
And so until you have the patience and it's really compassion, you know,
Yes.
you don't you it's hard to have patience without compassion
Mm-hmm.
because you have to care by seeing the divinity in that person to the extent you're like, okay, I know that God created you. I don't understand how or why you are the way you are, but let me at least respect that because it's there in that presence of all the things that you've experienced in the past and brought you to this moment in time and space. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The others, yes, Herman.
Dr. Harris, I'm sorry. I just have to ask Dr. Monica one more question regarding the phenomenon of the Black Panther movie. How was that movie so impactful on the Black community? I've never been to a movie that I had to order a ticket like it was a concert. You couldn't even go to the movie theater. So, while we have you the superhero expert. I want to hear another, and I'm saying that in a good way. Not, I
Yeah.
say that as a good way. Like I always thought like, yo, this movie through the world, this movie went crazy for the Black population. And
Mm-hmm.
you might have another spill besides it was just a Black movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the movie and you look at all the characters of the movie, not only is it just a Black movie, it gives us as Black people an idea that if colonization never occurred, how would we have developed? If we had never been colonized, if that had never taken place, because Wakanda is a country that colonization never happened. And they had this mineral and this material that they were able to create their own world without the influence and intrusion of other worlds and other countries, right? And so that's one piece. So to be, and then when you visually, when you see the movie, you can see all the Indikra symbols and the representation of the different tribes and the representation of the different colors that are represented and seen in Africa. And so people who really, really, understand where we're from, because people that I know who are very well, we would say more Afrocentric. They've studied Africa far more than me because I study superheroes. But they were able to identify um, different African historical complexities within these characters and within the movie. So then for females, the character Shuri, if many people don't know this, but when Stan Lee created her, when that team created Shuri, she is the smartest character in all of Marvel. Shuri, this little Black girl. And so when people have interviewed Stan Lee and they've asked him, well, who's the smartest character? He says, well, Shuri. Because and she's learned how to just recognize vibranium. She just looks at something and goes, oh, that's vibranium. I can do this with it, and I can do that with it, and we can do this with it, and we can do. And so for little Black girls, that's amazing for someone who's in science and math. So the movie really touched on a lot of components of Africa, of our ancestry, of who we are as Black people, far more than even Blade, because I loved Blade. I loved the mess for Blade. I can watch Blade over and over and over again. Wesley Snipes and vampires, and but still, it didn't have that ancestral connection and many of us as Black people, and even if we don't want to admit it, we do connect with our ancestors. And so being able to really visually see that, and then having Black women who are not just strong, but beautiful and strong, and beautiful with their bald head, just and being okay with not having long flowing hair, but loving who they are the way they are. And so it's not just that it was a superhero movie, because it was great, but it was all those other pieces and components to it that people have explored in looking at these characters. And then if you break it down using Jung, you can see the different shadows, and you can see those characters, and you can see, and so it also connects with us in that way too, as well as what was the other thing, and then of course, knowing about how the movie was created. The director was Black, the cinematographer was Black, the costume designer was Black. So in essence, it's truly an all Black film. The hero is Black. The bad guy is Black. And even with the bad guy, Killmonger, sometimes Killmonger was right. So there were certain things that and when he died, people were upset because there were certain things about Killmonger that we could connect with, I could connect with. And so it wasn't just a superhero movie. It just really kind of opened up your eyes to what if we were never colonized?
Wow.
What would have happened?
Dr. Monica, that is, thank you. It never, that's a heavy thought. I got to give that some more thought because that has not occurred to me. I saw the movie and, I saw it as a personification of all these different things that we wish that we were and the powers that we wish that we had. But that's an entirely different cut on it. I thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Thank you,
And if
Doctor.
you know,
Thank you, Dr. Monica.
Africa as a continent is the wealthiest continent. It
Still,
has the
Yeah.
most minerals and gold and diamond and vibranium doesn't exist, but
Yeah.
the mineral that's used in all of our cell phones and all of our
Yeah.
computers and all
Yeah.
of our technology is in the
That's right.
Congo.
Yeah.
So when you know these things, it's make believe, but not really.
But it's not.
And so,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that. That's a whole nother era. When I spent time in Egypt and was in King Tut's tomb, gold was so plentiful that you had like a gold box 9 feet high,
Mhm.
in which his actual tomb was in a series of boxes that were gold. And so that's a story for another day. I want to wrap us up. I also want to thank so many of you have contributed to our legacy project. And as we were doing this today, a part of that project is to spread the message, to duplicate what we've done. This type of format is excellent for just about the number of people we have. But in order to duplicate it, one day each and every one of you are going to be running these same type formats, giving people an opportunity to talk so that you have a small enough group that people can be heard and feel a part of it, but duplicated enough times that you get a message of power going around the world and then coming together once or twice a year as a huge physical group. And that's all a part of that vision of the Legacy Project. So those who've contributed, thank you so much. Those who haven't, consider contributing. And those who've been supporting us, you all continue to support us each month. Thank you. So I just put the link here again because this project is ongoing and because the work is ongoing. And so we appreciate everything. All right, folks, any final comments from anybody before we wrap? All right. Well, the
This
link is
was
in
great. Thank
in the
you.
chat. Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you.
I appreciate each and every one of you. And next week we have another speaker. Who do we have next week, Dawn?
Oh, that's you, Dr. Harris. We have
Oh,
another speaker the following week.
oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, we have Katie. She's coming up on I think it's the 11th. She's on the 11th.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Dr. Monica, and all you other speakers. This is a forum for you to be heard, and Dawn coordinates it all. So let us open our mics. Let us close out in our normal way together. And thank each and every one of you, my coach, all of my friends here. Salme doing great work. Cynthia doing great. Jovan with his restaurant down in Atlanta. Yvonne with her new project up in Ohio. Just so many of you doing so many great things. So let us say together as we close out and move on into this next level of our existence, knowing truly that the best
Us
Best
is
is
yet.
yet
to
to
come.
come.
And
And
so it
So
so
it
it
is.
So
is.
it
is.
is.
What's the name of the restaurant in Atlanta?
Jovan, what's your restaurant? Joe, what's Jovan's restaurant?
Forgot the
It's
name.
called ATL.
ATL,
It's next to the airport,
next to
College
the
Park.
airport.
Okay, I'll make a stop. Headed there in April.
All right. Looking forward to it. All right, everyone. Have a great, magnificent week. Thank you for everything. We appreciate your support.
Thank you, Mastermind.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a
Great,
great week.
great. Bye bye. Thank you.